Good morning and God bless you. Today is day 53 through a journey through the Bible. Today's reading is Leviticus chapter 13, Mark chapter 6, 1 through 29, Psalms chapter 39, 1 through 13, Proverbs 10, 10. Ooh, look, let me tell you guys something because see, I am a transparent guy. All right, there is nothing in the darkness that I shall leave there. All right, because the shame and indignation of our transgressions catches us in the darkness, catches us in our night, and it looks to accuse you. And that's why you must confess your sin to God and confess your sins to your brethren, that they do not overcome you, that they do not become a source of anguish and despair. Because we all fall short of the glory of God every single day. Now it is said that no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil. It is a wicked thing among us. Such a small member boasts great things, and it leads the body to hell. And I fell victim of this yesterday. And I'm going to give you a quick story in an effort to provide transparency. Because as I tell you this, don't look after man because man is flawed, and that includes myself. And yesterday, I I could not contain my tongue, and it was regarding work. And I got to work as I do every single day, and it was a Sunday, and I don't particularly like working Sundays, but I don't have a choice in that, so I go in. And I went to work yesterday, and it was a pretty light day, and I got my stuff done. I was done at 12:30, ready to go home, and that was a beautiful thing. And I get back to the office, and I'm putting my stuff away, ready to go, and they say, hey, we need you to go out because people didn't show up, because people called out, because they gave people days off. And that, I was hot. I was hot. And I kind of had a precursor to that earlier in the day because we have this thing in our company where Sundays are mandatory for essentially CCAs. I work for the Postal Service. I'm a carrier, all right, and but I'm new in this path. I'm new in this career, which I've been doing it for less than 2 years, all right. So I'm new in the career, and because of that, it's mandatory for all that are such like me that are new, all right. So, well, what's been happening for the last several weeks, even months, even, is some of the people don't show up. All right, they don't show up, which means that we who do show up have to do the lion's share of the work. Instead of having a day like yesterday where I could have been home at 1:30, I got stuck doing extra work because people didn't come to work. Right, and they don't come to work for a variety of reasons: for selfishness, for family issues, for injuries, for whatever their reason is. They don't show up. But this is a mandatory calling for us. So the cycle is it hasn't been mandatory. Right? It's mandatory for me, but it's not mandatory for someone else. And this was the issue in which I got so hot yesterday. And I laid into the supervisor. I mean, I was cursing and screaming and threatening and all these things, and I could not contain it. I struggled, and I tried my best to contain it because I felt that righteous anger rising in me, and I could not contain it. And I was like, no, I'm not supposed to do this. You know what? I'm not supposed to be going out there. And even they're looking at me like, wait, aren't you a minister? What are you doing? You can't be cursing. I'm like, I just could not contain myself. And I stopped smoking, which not really. I stopped smoking at work. I still smoke at home. And there was just a whole bunch of things that were going on, all these things. And it was just, it was bad. It was bad. And it lasted for a good 10 minutes. And I was just nasty. The nastiest I've been in a very long time. And we all have that in us. We all have that fire that burns in us. But we are to do everything in our power to contain it. And I did not do a good job. I did not contain it. And I unleashed on this poor guy. And it was a bad situation. And then I ended up, before that, talking to my wife earlier in the day, and we're talking, and she's under a lot of stress. She works from home. She's taking care of the kids. The kids are schooling from home. She's her plate is full. And I've been working 10, 12-hour days, 9 days in a row, and I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I have no energy. I'm burnt out, and I'm trying to get home, and I can't get home. And I ended up saying the wrong thing to her and set her off, and she's all upset. So now my home is upset, and then I'm at work, and then work is upset, and all these things were coming against me. And I'm looking at God, and I'm saying, like, I trust you. I'm following your path no matter what, right? And then I went back inside, and the culmination of all of that, it just flew out of my mouth, and I did a very poor job of containing it. I will say that once it came out of me, once that vitriol and that anger and the frustration, once I ended up unleashing it on this poor unsuspecting guy, I had to go outside, calm myself down, say some prayers to God, and I walked back in and I immediately apologized to that man. I immediately, who was my supervisor, and I didn't apologize to him because he was my supervisor. I apologized to him because I was wrong, because I failed to contain my tongue, because I failed to restrain myself. All right. And I said prayers to him, and I had to, because I knew that I was wrong. It didn't matter what I was saying. It had no idea. It did not matter at that point. I crossed so many boundaries, right? I screaming at this guy. I'm laying into him, God, for something that he can't control. Because remember, he's stuck there too, and he still has a mission to do, and I am there to facilitate his mission. And I ended up apologizing to him. I took the next assignment, got the next assignment done, and I called him several times. He called me, and I was like, look, dude, I should not have done that. I am supremely apologize. I supremely apologize. That should not have happened in any form, way, shape, or form. It's not how I speak to people. I don't know what, I cannot describe the anger that was burning inside of me. And I looked at God and I said, you need to remove this from me. You need to take this from me right now. Like, I've already done what I did, and I cannot untake it. I could not tame my tongue, and I apologize, and whatever comes my way because of that, I'll accept it, because I knew that I was wrong. But God is just and merciful, right? So after unleashing on this poor guy, I apologized to him. He rightfully accepted my apology, which he did not have to do, but he did, because he understood that I was sincere. And I apologized to God, and I made my confession, but I made sure I apologized to both God and this man, because that was not, it was not okay. But these type of things happened every day. All right? I'm not the only one guilty of these things, but I'm not even sharing that to celebrate the shame and the guilt. I'm telling you because I am not perfect. All right? For I have my trials and tribulations like everyone else. All right? And I react the wrong way like everyone else. All right? So the difference between now, that situation, and any time before it, is that I recognize my own iniquity. I recognize my own transgression. I sought forgiveness from the brother whom I lashed that out, and from God above, so that there's no shame or indignation, because I knew that I was wrong, and I immediately sought correction for that. And that's why I'm telling you, that's why I'm sharing this story, because it happens. And this just happened yesterday. All right, so that's why we don't put faith in men. That's why we don't trust men, we trust God. Every faith and every praise and every glory goes to God, not to us. And then I come home and I'm trying to make amends with my wife, which I thought I did. I thought I did a good job, and I'm helping her around the house and helping her finish up whatever thing she was doing and quiet her spirit. And for a while it did. And then at night, of course, husband looking for some intimate time, and she was just, the work of the day just overwhelmed her, and she wanted no part in that, right? And okay, that's okay, all right, that's okay, right? And I know my mind, and I'm okay. And I looked at God and I said, thank you for correcting me. Thank you for your chastisement, because I know that you correct those who you love, and I know that you're for me. And what a wonderful thing to be called a child of God. And we're not perfect. You understand? Confess your sin to God. Confess your sin to your brother. And if you can, make amends with your brother, then go make amends to God. That's the order that you should do it. Before you come pray to God, make that amends with your brother, by all accounts. All right? So just, it goes to show you, walk with God in all things, all circumstances. And let me tell you, I was praying to God even while I was hot in anger, because I was asking for him to restrain me. I was asking for him to silence my mouth, because I could not silence it myself. All right, but after the rant went out, I was able to make amends with the people involved, and I was able to make confession to God. And yes, I felt much better. But you must be on guard always. All right, you must be on guard always. I could have went 1,000 different ways in the wrong direction. But God is just and merciful. Trust me on that. All right, with that, go with God, stay with God.